press the bell icon on the YouTube app and never miss another update.
Hello my dear students, hope you people are doing good. Yes. So in the last class, we were discussing about a new chapter, that is working of institutions, right? So we came across so many things here. Very first thing is how the institutions are working. We did discuss about Mandal Commission, right? We did discuss about how this commission did give a report, and one single report did lead to a very big kind of, or say there was a huge discussion over this, right? So why that discussion came into existence? It was because of a particular issue, or say a particular decision taken by the three organs of the government, right? In that very first organ is your legislature, the second is executive, and the third is judiciary. So when it comes to the executive, what they had decided, like the legislature, whatsoever it had decided, executive always executes the laws, right? So here they came up with one of the important decision, that is keeping or reservation of 27% of seats, in a job for the people of this educationally backward classes. So when it comes to these people, so that is what they had decided, saying that yes, we would preserve the 27% of government jobs, especially for the socially and educationally backward classes. See, earlier all these backward classes, they had got reserved the seats, right? You know this thing, reservation. So when it comes to reservation, as again 27%, so in addition to all other SC and STs, this, in addition to that, they had come with 27%. They decided for giving this 27% of reservation. So again, there was a huge issue. It was a huge issue, and we did discuss how the issues are solved. It is finally the judiciary, who did decide on this. See, what people started doing, they said that if only reservations are made, then how is it helpful for us, the remaining one? Can we compete? Would we get any chance in government jobs? If they are planning only for reservation, then where we have to go? So this was the question there. So that's the reason there was a PIL filed, so with this public interest litigation, the issue almost got solved. The judiciary, they said that yes, the reservation, whatever is done is correct, it is not exact, total thing is not wrong, but yes, there has to be certain addition saying that this particular reservation shall not apply to those who are fit enough, nothing but who are getting the benefit of see, they are well-to-do persons. If people, the one for whom the reservation is being made, if they are a well-to-do person, then this reservation will not get applied. So that is what the correction, or say the addition, was supposed to be done. Then why do we need this political institutions? What is the necessary? Why do we need these institutions? Is there any use out of these things? Let us know about that. See, we have seen an example, the previous class itself, we did, whatever I discussed now. So the previous class we have already discussed there. So how one particular office memorandum, the one office memorandum it led to many things, right? So we did discuss about that now itself. Again, I did brush up. So the government, as you all know, the government is responsible for ensuring security. So whom do we ask the question when it comes to security? Definitely we would question the government itself, right? Asking what exactly you are doing. How, are we getting the security? Are you providing the security? Are we feeling secure enough? So if at all that is not provided by the government, then definitely we have all the rights to question them. So when it comes to the government, it is their responsibility for ensuring security and even providing facilities. So what kind of facilities? It has to relate to the health, security, education, and other things. Okay, like see, when it comes to providing all these things, so government has to take all the necessary steps. So it has to be it has to ensure that yes, it is providing each and everything. It is fulfilling the needs of the people. So that is what we had discussed. Like no doubt, when it comes to need for political institutions, definitely again that is the main thing, because people do expect from the government. If at all the government does not fulfill whatever the need of people, then definitely what happens? Again, there will be a clash, we can say, or rather we can say that there will be a problem, right? So when these things are happening, so government has to provide all the necessary things, or they have to fulfill the needs of the people. So to provide all these things, it may be related to health, it may be related to education, or it may be related to the environment, like a total clean and healthy environment. If at all those things has to be provided, definitely they need fund. So how do they get these funds? Any idea, dear students, like how do they get these funds? Definitely they need, see, if at all any work has to be done, definitely you need money, right? You need some money. So when you need money, imagine it's about society, it's not about only one person. For one person or say one family, we need money. So think about the whole society. So don't they need money? Don't they need fund to do all these things? Yes, they need money. So how how do they reach, or how do they get to these funds? So see, for raising the fund, it shall be done by collecting tax. You know, right? Road tax for maintaining the road, okay? House tax to get it like as a collection, so that the money can be used for the improvisation of the society as a whole. Then water tax for the improvement of the providing good drinking water facility, etc. So all this tax, in the name of tax, they collect the fund. So these money, okay, like whatever they have collected as a tax, okay, the money whatever they have collected as tax, this will be used for administration, defense, and even development programs. So administration, nothing but each and everything. So taking care of the society, making improvements in the society, so bringing changes in the society. So updation, upgradation, all these things are necessary, right? So when these things has to happen, then definitely they need fund, and those fund will be received by the government in the name of tax. And they spend it for the sake of administration, or say for the sake of development, or even for the defense. So security, peace and security, to maintain peace and security, definitely the government has to spend certain amount. So that will be like the tax amount, whatever they receive, that will be used here. So next is, see, several schemes are also formulated. So as you all know, why schemes and all are provided? It shows, or it is for the betterment of the society itself, right? So for the betterment of the society, all these schemes will be coming into existence. So when it comes to this, some person, they have to take decision about activities, and others should think about implementing it. So see, nothing but they are talking about the organs here. If at all there are, like, see, government is divided into organs, right? So the legislature, the executive, and the judiciary. So if at all you are planning for any scheme, so somebody has to make it, right? A decision. They have to take certain decision regarding the activities to be carried out in that particular scheme, or added in that particular scheme. So it has to be decided by one particular group of people, like one particular group, or say one particular organ. And the other person, like other group of people, they have to plan to implement these things. Nothing but the one organ will be providing the schemes, right? They will provide scheme, they will tell you how the scheme has to be, like what all things to be added in that scheme. These things will be decided by one particular group. The other group, what they have to do? They have to implement the same. Nothing but whatever scheme the one person, one group has given, they have to implement. So it is like legislature and the executive. So leaders, they should know about these schemes. Not only that, they should know their responsibilities. So when you are choosing, okay, so it is like once you attain the age of 18 years, you will be choosing your representative, right? You will be choosing your leader. They should know their responsibilities. They should know what exactly they have to do, how they have to work. So all these things should be known by those people. So through the person in such position, it changes the activities should be still carried through, like, though the person, nothing but the leaders, they try to, being in such position, like, changes the activities should be still carried. So they have to think whether we have to bring in changes regarding any of the activities or should we carry on the same activities. So this will be decided by the representative himself. So the arrangement, okay, the arrangements as like made in all modern democracies to attend these tasks are called institutions. So what are institutions? So institutions are the one, okay, to carry out a particular activity, okay, to carry out a particular activity, or say to carry out these activities, okay, as mentioned, or the task, okay. So it comes to institution to carry out the task or say the activities, okay, to carry out the activities or say to carry out the task, they have to take care of certain things. Okay, so the person, the people who will be involved to take care of these things will be called as an institution, and this will be called under modern democracy. So under modern democracy, we call the group of people or the people who will be taking care, who will be taking the task to bring improvement in a society, or rather say to carry out the activities, they join their hands. So those group of people will be called as institutions. So democracy works well. When does it work well? If these institution works well. So this everybody knows, right? If democracy, when it comes to democracy, it is like you have to keep the people in your, it is like you have to impress them, right? You have to keep people in your mind and see that you fulfill their needs. So when you are keeping people in your mind, it is just like, see, democracy, like we know very well, right? So democracy, when does that work very well? When you are fulfilling all the needs of the people. So that's the reason, if at all the institutions work well, then democracy also works well. So like we have seen institutions, right, how they work. In the previous example, like the previous class itself, we came across the office memorandum. So there we could see that, the Prime Minister and the Cabinet are institutions that take all important policy decisions. So in the previous example itself, we came across President, the Prime Minister, the Cabinet, all these things we got to know, right? So when it comes to this, the Prime Minister and the Cabinet, okay, they are the institutions. We call them as institutions who take the important decision on policy making. Okay, they take decisions regarding policy making. The second person is the civil servants working together. Okay, the civil servants working together who are really responsible for taking steps to implement the minister's decision. So you see the civil servants. Okay, so civil servants. So a few public servants. Okay, like what happens? They are the people who will be working together, and whatever the decisions taken by the ministers, these people try to implement the same. That is the reason. So these people are also called as institution. And the third is Supreme Court. Like it is an institution, independent institution where no person can poke their nose, nor they can question regarding the decision given. So whenever a dispute arises between any citizens and the government, or say two governments, then definitely it would be the Supreme Court which will be solving such problems. So that's the reason. So these can be called as an institution. So working with institutions are not easy. Do remember this. Do you think so? Working with people is very easy because you will find so many differences. You will find so many people with different, ideas, different knowledge. So working with institution, bringing them together is very, very difficult. It's not at all a easy task. So like involve in this particular thing, okay, working with institution itself involves many rules and regulations, and it binds the leaders. How does it binds? See, all the rules and regulations make these people to have a boundary. They cannot cross that boundary. So that's the reason it binds the leaders. So it leads, because of these binding itself, it leads to like delays or sometimes even complications. There will be many complications to bring a particular scheme into existence, to bring a particular law into existence, because there is no good coordination sometimes because they are bound by certain rules and regulations. The leaders are bound by certain rules and regulations. They cannot easily implement anything that has come into existence. Okay, so this delay and complications arises. So like sometimes because of these binding, the institutions get frustrated. Okay, they face the frustration there, and it makes a person feel that there has to be only one person to take all decisions. So later on what they feel that, why can't we keep only one person to take all the decisions? Why it is like like we have this hierarchy of say these organs and all, let it be decided by only one person. Because of the frustration, because of the binding rules and regulation, they feel this. So it is not possible, right? When it comes to democracy, this is not possible. One person cannot decide each and everything. There have to be people like who are connected with other people. They know their sorrows and then they come to a particular decision. This has to happen. So democracy provides opinion of different people or a set of people. So like democracy, as I told you, people, it totally depends upon people, right? So set of people, their opinion matters a lot when it comes to democracy. So institutions make it difficult to give good decision. Yes, sometimes it actually like becomes very difficult to give a good decision, and like very quick decision cannot be given, and sometimes it makes very difficult to rush through a bad decision. Sometimes like it actually it's like it stops you from going into a bad decision or taking a bad decision, but sometimes it totally delays in taking a good decision, because everything depends upon people, and unless and until people tell something or they discuss certain things or they come to a conclusion, nothing can be decided. So that's the reason democracy, like when it comes to democracy, we are totally depending upon people. Understood? Yes. Now let us know about certain institutions. So dear students, you have come across Parliament. Right? You know many things about Parliament because you have studied this in your 8th grade, that is why do we need a Parliament? Right? So I don't think so I need to tell more about this, but let me discuss something which is very important here. So see, in the earlier example that is related to office memorandum, we came across the role of the Parliament. Do you really remember what exactly we had discussed there? Was it a direct role of Parliament there? Was it a direct role there? So here, it was not a direct involvement of Parliament. So as the decision was not taken by the Parliament, you might feel that okay, Parliament had no work there or it had no involvement in there. But see, do remember, do just rewind your cassette. Okay, rewind your brain cassette so that you come up with the same story again, wherein it is related to office memorandum. So it is see, when it comes to office memorandum, so people had come up with the office memorandum, right? So with this, we came across so many things. That is, yes, there were certain sentences like this. That is, the report of the Mandal Commission was discussed. The President of India mentioned this. The Prime Minister made a decision. So see, these were the few lines what I have chosen, okay, what I have taken and what I am explaining to you people. See, the decision was not directly taken in the Parliament, okay, no doubt. Parliament was involved here, but it was not a direct decision. Okay, it was not at all a direct decision, but indirectly Parliament had involved itself. So let us know how it had involved. So see, parliamentary discussions on the report influenced and shaped the decision of the government. So see, parliamentary discussion, there was a discussion on this particular report as given. Okay, there was a discussion here and they brought a pressure. They pressurized the government saying that you have to implement this. The law, whatever they have done, whatever it has been discussed in the parliament, that has to be brought into existence, or they have to bring into, they have to implement this, that too on the recommendation of Mandal, Mandal Commission. So if the parliament was not in favor of the decision, the government could not have gone ahead. Yes or no? If parliament was not, see, as you all know, there is legislature, executive and judiciary. So when it comes to union legislature, we call parliament, we call it as parliament, right? So whatever it is decided by the parliament, every law is made by the parliament itself, right, with discussion, right? So Lok Sabha, Raj Sabha, your president, you have discussed, you have known about these people, right, these things there. So when it comes to parliament, if at all the parliament was not in favor of Mandal Commission report or the recommendations given by Mandal Commission, definitely it would, the government would not imply it, right? As the parliament had given permission or as they were in favor of this thing, they had to implement it. So let us know, see, yes, Parliament could have done what the Parliament could have done if it did not approve of the Cabinet's decision. So see, you have learnt already about Parliament. So try to imagine, okay, these things. So now your people can tell me if you want, why do we need a Parliament, right? Yes. So do you remember why we really need this Parliament? Please do remember, whatever you have studied in 8th grade. Okay, so here see, as you all know, in all the democracies, assemblies, assembly of elected representatives, they exercise supreme political authority, that too on behalf of the people. Nothing but people have chosen them, and that's the reason they are representatives of people, and they are there to discuss certain things. So now in India, as National Assembly of elected representatives, see, we call it as a parliament. Nothing but the elected representatives who come together for a discussion, we call it as a parliament. And at the state level, okay, we call it as, this is called legislature or say legislative assembly. Okay, so union legislature, when it comes to union, it is like parliament, and at the state level, we call it as legislature or say state legislative assembly. Okay, so either of the one word will be calling. So the name may vary in different countries. Okay, the name related to parliament or say legislature, it keeps varies. Okay, varying from state to state or nothing but a nation. Okay, different countries. But yes, this actually is present when it comes to democratic nation or say the one who follows democracy. So let us know what all political authority on behalf of the people it is given to the parliament. Let us know about that. So it is the final authority. Okay, we consider parliament as a final authority. Why is it called as final authority? Yes, see, when it comes to this, it is called as, we call it as final authority. So the reason why we call it as final authority, that is related to making laws for a nation or say for a country. If at all any laws has to be made, okay, any laws has to be brought into existence, that will be definitely done by the parliament, and hence we call parliament as a decision making person or say it is the final authority for making laws for the country. So this task of law making or legislation is so crucial that these assemblies are called legislature. So as I told you, it is called as legislature or say legislative assembly when it comes to state. So parliaments all over the world can make new laws. What all things they can do? They can make new laws, right? So new laws can be made. So how do they do this new laws? So they discuss it with some other person and then they decide or they come up with new laws? Yes. So what happens? Excuse me. Yes. See, whenever a law whenever the parliament, okay, they feel that, okay, we need certain laws to be brought to the betterment of the society or betterment of the people or betterment of the democratic nation, definitely such new laws will be made by the parliament itself. Okay, that is first thing. Change existing laws. Okay, the second one is they can bring a change. They can change the existing laws. If at all any law is already present, they can bring a change, either add or delete. Okay, so they can bring the changes here. The next is abolish existing laws. Totally they can abolish it. Something that is already there, they can abolish it and make new laws. So they can bring a change in the existing laws. Okay, maybe certain here and there they can change. They can totally delete a law which is already existing. They can bring a new law in that particular place. So it is in the hands of the parliament itself. The second is parliaments all over the world exercise some control over those who run the government. Okay, the one who runs the government, okay, the one who runs the government, they will be like, the parliaments will be having control over those people. Okay, they will be having control over those people. So in some countries like India, like this control is direct and full. As we all know, like parliament controls the things here because they are the one who will be making all the laws, and those laws are made in like they keep in mind the people. Okay, for the betterment of the people itself, those laws will be made. And here, when it comes to India, the parliament will be having direct control. Okay. Yes. So those who run the government can take decisions only so long so they enjoy support of the parliament. So unless and until like they get the support from the parliament, they can do nothing there. So the government who can take decisions, okay, if at all they are planning to take any decision, then that has to be in favor of the parliament or in support of the parliament itself. Then only it would be successful, because some parliament we call it as the supreme authority, right? Like yes, something that has come from the sovereign authority. So that will be accepted. So the last one is, okay, why we need a parliament. When it comes to why we need a parliament, the last thing is parliament is the highest forum. Okay, it is the highest forum of discussion and debate on public issues. So when it comes to parliament, it is the highest thing, okay, highest forum. For what? It is for the discussion, and we can debate. Okay, when it comes to debating, even debate can be done on public issues, related to public issues, anything that is related to public issues and national policy in any country. So if, see, public issues has to be solved, right? So definitely, if at all there are no laws, see, earlier days, we had no Motor Vehicles Act, it was there. Okay, it was just a bill, or say like the act was not totally implemented in the way it was required. But as and when the commercial vehicles started like coming into existence, or say the vehicles, more number of vehicles started coming into existence, definitely they had to take certain action, and Motor Vehicles Act was like it was implemented, like it came into existence. In the same way, Consumer Protection Act, that is also the same thing. Though, like, see, consumer needed a protection either of the way, even if you are going offline this shopping or online shopping, does not matter, right? So if at all they have to be protected, then definitely you need some kind of like protection for the people. So for that they had to get the SNIF law. Okay, so like those things will be done. So parliament, like we consider it as the highest forum of discussion related to any of the matter for that thing. Okay, like you can consider anything. It may be related to the money bill, it may be related to the like bringing laws, it may be related to any administration work. Okay, so it is like they discuss they debate, because there will be ruling party and opposition party. That's the reason that can be considered as a debate there. And even like it is like the debate will be done on the public issues and even national policy in any nation. So parliament can seek information about any matter it wants. So it can seek for information regarding anything. If at all they feel that okay, those information are necessary, then that has to be given to the parliament. Let us know about the two houses of parliament. So dear students, you have known about this already, right? You know about these things in you have studied this in your previous class itself, like 8th grade. But again, let me tell you about the two houses, okay? So like as the parliament, it plays a very important role, and it is a central, like it plays a central role when it comes to modern democracy. If at all you are considering modern democracy, definitely the parliament is playing the central role, right? So it is like it has got a very like much importance. So it plays a central role, nothing but it is having the highest rank. Okay, and it is expected that yes, they have to like consider this central, like whatever they say, whatever it is decided by the parliament, it has to be accepted. So like when it comes to this, most large countries, what they do, they divide the role and parts of the parliament in two parts. So it is like bicameral. Okay, they call it as bicameral sometimes. So they are called chambers or say houses. To make the work very easy, what they do, they divide the works of the parliament into two sessions. Okay, like sections we can call. So one house, which is usually like it is the real power of the people, and they exercise the real power on behalf of the people. So it is called as Lok Sabha, and the second house is usually elected indirectly and performs some special functions. So like see, there are two houses, okay, here also same thing, there are two houses wherein one is Lok Sabha and Rajya Sabha, that usually like we call it in India. But what democratic countries they do, they divide the parliament work into two. One wherein the people directly elect those people, okay, and they will be working on behalf of the people. The other like a group, okay, the other part or the other group will be like it is usually elected indirectly, but it performs some special functions. So the most common work of the second house, it is to look after the interest of various states, regions or federal units. So the second house, that will be taking care of all these things, that is states, various states, interests of various states, what exactly they want, do they want any changes and all. So all these things will be taken care by the second house. Not only that, even regions or say federal units. So when it comes to India, we have these two houses. Very first is called as Lok Sabha. Okay, we call it as Lok Sabha, and the second is called as Rajya Sabha. Okay, or say Rajya Sabha and the Lok Sabha. You can take it however you want, Rajya Sabha and Lok Sabha, and you know, like even if you want it as like Lok Sabha and Rajya Sabha, you can take it. So Rajya Sabha is the upper house, that is Council of States. Okay, it is called as Council of States. So when it comes to Council of States, we call it as Rajya Sabha, which is again called as upper house, and the Lok Sabha, it is house of the people. As I told you, people, they are directly elected by the people, and they will be taking care of the works related to the people. Okay, they will be working on behalf of the people, and Rajya Sabha is the one which will be working like it does some special works there. Okay, so here we call it as, we call Rajya Sabha as a Council of State, and we call Lok Sabha as Council of People. Okay, yes. So the President of India is like he is the part of Parliament. he is not a member. Okay, the president is not a member here, definitely, of either of the house. Maybe like Rajya Sabha or Lok Sabha, he is not a member of any of the house, but he plays an equivalent, or he plays a very important role when it comes to parliament. So all laws made in the house, it come into force only after they receive the assent of the parliament, like president. Do remember, whatever bill is given, okay, we call here bill. What is a bill? A bill is a proposal. Okay, a bill is a proposal, like wherein to make any laws and all, the bill will be considered. The bill will be produced in either of the house. They will be discussing there. Okay, apart from money bill, all other bills can be discussed in any of the house. But when it comes to money bill, it will be taken care only by the Lok Sabha here. So bill will be produced in any of the house, and they will be having a discussion there. Once they feel like 2/3 majority have agreed for any of the decision, definitely that will be given to the president. And president is not a member of any of the house, but he will be playing an important role here, because once the bill is discussed and is sent to the president and he gives a assent there, nothing but he puts a signature, definitely that will be called as a, like that will be considered here as a act or say law. Definitely, like it has to be given, that the president has to give an assent there. Okay, so that's the reason he is playing an important role here. So you have read about this Indian Parliament. As I told you in 8th grade itself, why do we need a parliament? You have already known. So you have known even about Lok Sabha election. In the previous class itself we have discussed related to the previous chapter. Then let us know about the comparison when it comes to the Lok Sabha and Rajya Sabha. Let us know the differences. So the total number of members, who elects the members, these things you have discussed or you have known in the 8th grade itself. Just go through your textbook, you will understand these things. Okay, so which house can be dissolved, which is a permanent house. Usually we call Rajya Sabha as a permanent house, right? So do check with your 8th grade and know about all these things. And yes, which is the most powerful one? So it might appear that the Rajya Sabha is more powerful, but as it is called the upper house and Lok Sabha is called the lower house. But this does not mean that Rajya Sabha is more powerful than Lok Sabha. See what happens, as we consider Rajya Sabha as the upper house or a permanent house, we feel that Rajya Sabha is more powerful, but actually as we are in democratic nation, what happens? Lok Sabha becomes more powerful because it is the council of people, right? That's the reason. So our constitution, it gives the Rajya Sabha some special powers, when it comes to the states, and on most, but most matters, the Lok Sabha exercises the supreme power here. So let us know about those things. So, and any ordinary law needs to be passed by both the houses. As I told you, bill will be passed. Apart from money bill, all the bills can be discussed in either of the house. But if there is a difference, okay, imagine there is a difference between the two houses, that they are not, one house is ready, the other house is not ready. So if there are any differences, then the final decision is taken into joint session, in which members of both the houses sit together. So jointly they come together and they sit for a discussion. Because of the larger number of members, the view of the Lok Sabha is likely to prevail in such a meeting. So what happens? Whenever there is a joint session, it always seen that the Lok Sabha prevails over the Rajya Sabha. Nothing but the Lok Sabha decision, okay, the decision, whatever they have chosen, okay, Lok Sabha, whatever they have chosen, that will be upholded when it comes to these, if there are any differences, the joint session will be carried out, right? And when the joint session will be carried out, what happens? Whatever decision taken by the Lok Sabha will be upholded, or it is given much more importance. The second is, Lok Sabha exercises more powers as compared to Rajya Sabha here, and once the Lok Sabha passes the budget of the government or any other money related related law, as I told you, money bill. Okay, money bill will be discussed in the Lok Sabha and not in the Rajya Sabha. Rajya Sabha can give certain recommendations or say certain suggestions which can be accepted by the Lok Sabha or they may reject it. So it totally depends upon Lok Sabha. That's the reason they are powerful here. They consider it okay. So the Rajya Sabha cannot reject it. Okay, any money bill related law, any money related law, if at all the Lok Sabha have done, then Rajya Sabha has to accept it, and the Rajya Sabha can only delay it by 14 days or suggest any changes. The Lok Sabha may or may not accept these changes. So as I told you, money bill will be decided by the Lok Sabha itself. It will be first it will be taken into Lok Sabha for the discussion, and 14 days will be given to Rajya Sabha. They can suggest any changes, or if they want any additions, anything they can do in that bill, they can give the suggestion, and it depends upon the Lok Sabha whether to accept such changes or leave. It totally depends upon Lok Sabha. And imagine for 14 days, okay, 14 days will be given, okay. 14 whole days will be given, and if they don't reply, if they don't send back the bill, then it will be considered as though Rajya Sabha has accepted the bill. To remember this. So when it comes to this, the Lok Sabha controls the Council of Ministers. Very important thing. Okay, Lok Sabha, they control the Council of Ministers. So the person who enjoys the support of the majority of the members in the Lok Sabha is appointed the Prime Minister. So you know how the Prime Minister is elected, right? Yes. So a person, see, if at all the majority, if he is enjoying the majority support from the members, definitely he will be chosen as the Prime Minister here. And if the majority of the Lok Sabha members say they have no confidence on such a person, or say in the Council of Ministers, so all ministers including the Prime Ministers have to quit, and the Rajya Sabha does not have this power. To remember, Lok Sabha, they can dissolve. Okay, if at all they feel that okay, there is no confidence, nothing, but they are not ready to answer. See, you might have seen the sessions, right? There will be sessions, right? Monsoon session, your summer session, and the winter session. So if you go, if at all you just check it, say there will be discussion. What they do, certain questions will be arise, and the Prime Minister or say the Council of Ministers, the head of the council, they have to answer those things. And if they feel that there is no confidence, that they are not at all ready to answer in the manner that is required, definitely that has to get dissolved. They have to leave the, they have to dissolve the Council of Ministers, they dissolve themselves. Okay, they leave the part, whatever work they are doing. So this is all about the two houses of parliament, dear students. So there are many other things same political executive, Prime Minister and Council of Ministers, even political and permanent executives, and certain other parts related to the President, parts of the Prime Minister, etc. So these things will be discussed in the next class. Thank you so much for your patience, dear students. If you have any doubts, please let me know, and please see that you study, you read the textbook so that you get you understand things, and if you have any doubt, please you can contact. Okay, thank you so much. Have a great day. Thank you.